Um, so I want to tell you guys, even though it's only a few of us here today, um, I know we will have uh, a few people, new people joining us next month, and I'm excited for that. I love our group, and I have a tendency to only want our group to be our group. That's terrible of me. I love new people too, and the people who are coming in, I do love as well. So I am hoping that you will love them as much as me. But they're all a little bit newer to engaging. And so I'm excited for us to grow together. They're really looking for community where they can be themselves and kind of try to learn about all this stuff and grow together without judgment. um, and so I'm excited for that because I feel like we are the best place for that. This
Mhm.
group is so good about connecting with one another and giving good fellowship and, you know, not judging for weird beliefs. We are the weirdos. So, right. I always say
You're
embrace
still a
the
bit like
weirdness.
me when I first started then.
I think it's like all of us when we first started. I don't think any of us really, maybe I'm wrong. Okay. But at least when I first started engaging, I didn't have community, you know? Um, Shortly after I started engaging, I found some community. And it was the best thing for me to kind of go, oh, this is how people engage. And oh, they listen to these people. And kind of a whole new world opened to me
Mhm.
in that way. And, um, but even at that time, I didn't really have people who I could engage with. And so, one thing I really love about this class is that we can all engage together. And even just having the WhatsApp group to say, hey, this is happening. Anybody available to engage right now? And you don't have to, it's just something that's there. And I think that that's really important for people to have somewhere to lean on, you know, from all over the world. And so I know a couple people who are joining are from like the Netherlands. Is that right? Norway? Gosh, I can't remember. That's terrible. Um, I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look it up. But
How
anyway,
many?
what'd you say?
How many?
Two ladies I know from there. We are having a couple other people who might be, and they are men. One is from South Africa, one is from the United States. And so I'm not sure about them yet, but we'll see. But at least I know the two ladies are because they just registered, which, by the way, registration's up for next month. So make sure and go check that out. I'll post the link later or something. Unless, Pearl, you want to post the link? Sweet. Thanks.
I was thinking of that yesterday.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you want to do that, that would be awesome. But I'm excited because I think um, we're going to get to kind of make a new start for getting to know each other. Um and so get ready for that, to be able to introduce yourself and who you are, and maybe think of one thing that you are in the spirit to share too. Okay.
What was the last thing you said? That you are what?
That you are in the spirit, who you
Mm,
are in the spirit. It's
okay.
not just, hey, I'm homeschool mom, but what, Karen? What is it?
What do you mean? Who I am in the spirit?
Oh boy, maybe next week needs to be back on identity, should we? I've only
Never
taught it
bad to talk
one
about
million
that.
times. What did you say?
I said it's never. It's you can always repeat that. That's never bad to talk about. These are layers that we're unpeeling here, Krish.
It's true. It's so true.
And for some reason, your voice is lower than everybody else's voice, at least from on
Okay.
my end. I don't know if that's true for you guys.
Let me see if I can. No. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can adjust anything. Okay, how's that?
Oh, way better. Thank you.
Whoa. I don't know why. Sometimes Zoom automatically like takes my microphone and puts it way down. I'm not sure what's up with that. Yeah. Anyway, it's fine. I'm glad you told me. I had no idea. So, well, how about let's just get started because today is I know that we're going to be talking about our scrolls and who we are in the spirit anyway. And so it's not exactly identity, but of course it goes into some of that. And so I think that that might be helpful. Okay. But if I ask you, if someone asks me, hey, Christine, tell us a little bit about who you are in the spirit, then I'm going to think of probably how I function in the spirit. What are my 7 mountains? Maybe, I'm going to be thinking like kind of some of my identity stuff in that. Right. So, I'm going to pull out one scroll that the Lord gave me one time, a long time ago. I hadn't planned on doing this, so I don't have it pulled up. Hold on a second. Maybe it's I have the spinning wheel. Let's see if it actually loads. Yeah. Maybe it won't. Okay. Well, it's not what I was looking for. But let me just tell you this. One time, the Lord gave me this scroll. He actually gave me 3 scrolls at the time. And it wasn't my destiny scroll, it was just random scrolls. So this was like actually in the Court of Kings. So I thought it was going to be regular legislation, but it was mostly for me. And it was talking about how I'm supposed to open the eyes of the hearts of the Joshua generation, and how I'm supposed to release his healing frequency into the earth. And I'm supposed to establish kingdom order. And when I got that scroll, I didn't really understand any of that, which is common. I think we often get things that we don't understand, and then we start discovering more of what that means, what we're supposed to do, how does that outwork in the earth, how does it work from the heavens, all of that. And so for me, now I understand, even though in the earth, I'm not a very organized kind of person. In the heavens, I am obsessed with kingdom order. I am a person who understands, and this is in the spirit. My spirit has great understanding of how things should be ordered according to the Lord. And if things are out of order, how to get them back on track. Okay. And how things should be established in heaven to then be able to manifest on the earth. I also have a healing mandate. So I am a healer. I do a lot of inner healing, outer healing, all sorts of healing, generally from heaven into the earth. I'm a person who I am for tearing down religion. The Lord had to tear it down in me Actually, he keeps tearing it down in me. Shall I be clear? He continues to tear it down in me so I can help others to tear it down around them. Because a lot of times the spirit of religion comes in and we don't even see it until it's exposed and demolished. It's a hard process. So I'm a soft place to land. That's something that the Lord has shown me, that I can be a soft place to land for people coming out of that, because it can be really painful to have all of the structure that you've known torn down. For me, it matches perfectly with my personality in the earth. My soul has a very different personality than my spirit, which is interesting. My soul is super nurturing. My spirit is super power authority. Okay, so I'm kind of the opposite, my soul and my spirit. Even though I am loving in my spirit, it doesn't manifest the same way as it does in the earth. In the earth, I will hug you and love you and comfort you and all of that. In the heavens, I will fight for you. That's more what I'm like in the heavens. Okay. So these things work really well together. Even how I'm not very organized in the earth. You know, one strength of mine is that it's not about organization. I don't like being put in a box in the earth. I don't like structure. I don't like feeling like, you know, some people, structure makes them feel comfortable. Pearl.
Not so much so now, but I hear you. I do like structure, but right now I'm not functioning with any structure.
Okay, well, just to be clear, you might be in your shadow. I'm just saying. But the point is, some people really feel comfortable with structure. It helps them feel okay.
I do.
I am the complete opposite. If I have structure, it makes me feel like I can't move. And it's the opposite for me. I feel like I have to get out. That is a strength for me when I'm helping people come out of religion, because for me, it was never painful for me to come out of religion. It was freeing, because religion for me was a box, a structure that I never really felt comfortable in, but I didn't know how to not be in it. And so when the Lord exposes it in me, it feels very freeing. So I can be a helpful place for other people to land when they need to come out of it. So the Joshua generation is coming out of the Moses generation. The Moses generation is, okay, Moses, you go to the mountain, you go to God, tell us what we need to do, and we'll do it. But we don't really want to go do that. That's kind of how the church has functioned for many years with pastors, apostles, prophets, whatever. Basically, you tell me what God says, and then I'll do that. You tell me what to do. What does the word say? And I'll do that. But it isn't really encouraged to be an individual thing. The Joshua generation, if you remember the story of Joshua going into the promised land, Joshua and Caleb, right? They said, hey, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Let's all go together and take the land. And it is a go get your inheritance, but let's all do it together. And so it's kind of taking everything out of we have to go to someone to get to God, and all of us going together. So that's what the Joshua generation is. And I'm supposed to open the eyes of the hearts of the Joshua generation. So basically to say, hey, here's what we can do. Let's all go do this together. So that's my function. Now, when I ask you to share something about yourself in the spirit, you probably won't talk for 5 minutes like me, but um, that can kind of give you an idea of something about who am I? And if you have no idea who you are, we're going to seek some of that today. So, do you know anything about your scroll? For me, I found out some really interesting things about myself. Some of you have heard some of this, maybe not all of it. Um, when I was very first introduced to Engaging Heaven, it was by listening to Ian Clayton in a conference that he had, which is ironic. Ian Clayton hates my guts now, but he helped me, and I appreciate him for this, even though he doesn't know it. So when I was listening to him, he said, the first thing you need to do is seek your destiny scroll. So I'm like, I don't know how to do that. And I had no idea how to do that. I just had that in the back of my mind. I struggled to engage heaven by myself. I just didn't know how. He kept trying to teach me step in, step out, step in, and I couldn't get it. It didn't connect to me. I struggled. I didn't understand how to do it. But one thing that I always did, and I didn't recognize this until I started engaging heaven, is that I would engage a lot actually during worship. That was a place where I didn't realize I was doing it, but I would see myself in the throne room a lot. I just kind of thought I was making things up. Like I knew I was really worshiping the Father, right? I knew that was really happening, but somehow I didn't really think I was there. I don't know what I thought, but anyway, I was at this worship service where Kent Henry came to town, and he is a big worship leader guy, and he came to our church actually. But he came and he was leading worship, and all of a sudden I'm in the throne room. And I'm like, oh, this is my opportunity. I can ask if I have a destiny scroll. So I said, Father, do I have a destiny scroll? And all of a sudden, there was this angel who brought in a scroll. And I'm like, can I see what's on the scroll? Well, this is normally how Father is with me. I expect really big things, and he shows me the tiniest little thing, and I think, is that it? And then it's really like too mind-blowing for me to handle anyway. And so he shows me one word on my destiny scroll, and I'm thinking, one word is all you're going to show me? But it was intercessor. And in my mind, I thought, intercessor is that lady who prays day and night on her knees for everybody. And I'm like, I'm definitely not that person. I forget to pray for people all the time. I will pray for you right now if you ask for prayer, and then I'll forget about it. And so I'm thinking, I'm definitely not the intercessor. And then all of a sudden I get this kind of knowing from the Father of that's not what he means by intercessor. That he meant I was supposed to lead people into the heavenly realms. Well, if you remember, I don't even know how to lead myself at this point. I'm just like magically there when I'm worshiping. And so I'm like, no way. I can't do that. I'm not. And I said to him, I'm not worthy of that. And he got angry. And I had never seen the Father angry before. He had always been so lovey-dovey nice to me. But this time he stood up and he just pointed at me and he said, you don't tell me if you're worthy. I tell you if you're worthy. And I was like, yes, Lord. And like bowed immediately in the most humbling of ways. And it changed me. And in that moment, I realized it doesn't matter what I think about myself. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about myself. I better do this thing. And so about a week later, I had told everybody about this experience around me because I was like, whoa, you wouldn't believe what happened. I was in the throne of blah, blah. And so I was like vomiting everything all over my friends. And then this one guy wanted to introduce me to his spiritual mother. So I was like, okay. And we got on Zoom because she was in a different state. And so we were on Zoom and he's introducing me to her. And he said, Christine, will you lead us into the heavenly realms? Because he heard that that's what I was supposed to do, not knowing that I didn't know how to do it. And so, anyway, he asked me, and in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, like I have to do this. But I didn't say that, of course. I'm just like, sure. And so I just kind of go, Lord, you got to help me. And so I was like, Yeshua, please, will you lead us into the heavenly realms? Like, really kind of begging him to show up, sort of thing. And of course, it was easy and he showed up and I just kind of followed whatever he did. And I realized, oh, it's that easy. It actually isn't complicated at all. This is, I just ask him to lead and he leads everything. And so I ended up doing that. And I started doing that with other people whenever they would ask me. And sometimes then people would say, hey, I'm having a struggle with this. And I'd be like, well, shall we engage the Lord about it? And then I started a little tiny 4 of us group that we'd get together once a week and we'd engage together. And it all kind of started from there. And that was the first introduction of my destiny scroll. One word, it changed my life. This is what I do with my whole life now. I mean, can you imagine that? That he had these plans for me? And now I go all over the world teaching this? And I thought, no, I can't do that. I mean, what he releases to you on your destiny scroll will always feel way too overwhelming. Like, no way. How could you choose me? And he releases himself inside of you to fulfill it all. It doesn't have to be something that you're good at. He also told me at one point that my real purpose, why I was sent to the earth in this time, was to help all of humanity learn to function in a whole different way with the collective consciousness. Probably you guys are like, what are you talking about? Maybe some of you understand, but it's basically functioning in the quantum realm through oneness and being able to access anything at any time through the quantum realm of all of humanity. We are connected. It's just most people don't know that. And so they function very separately. But if you don't know something, you can access everyone else's knowledge. You can access other people's feelings. You can access their bodies. I mean, it sounds very strange. It actually sounds a little witchy, if I can admit that, but it isn't if you do it with the Lord. Okay. But the Lord told me that that's how the restoration of all things will happen. And if we aren't successful in this age, then there will be a destruction and another creation. And so I understand this is actually quite a big deal. And I believe, because I've seen the restoration, that it actually is going to happen. That being said, I go, what in the world? How am I supposed to do that? I don't even really understand how to do all of it myself yet. Do I have a better understanding than most of humanity? Yes. Do I understand it completely? Absolutely not. And so I just know the Lord will connect me in whatever way he wants to, whenever he does. And I will have other people who help me, and we will all do it together, and we will start to grow and learn and function differently. And humanity won't be so disconnected and destroying everyone and each other all of the time because we think that we're separate. It doesn't have to be like that. So, anyway, I know that that's my purpose. I have not fulfilled all of these things that are on my scroll, but at least I know what I'm here for. And I have that always driving me, that I have to help people understand oneness. I have to help people learn how to tap into it. How can you engage with another person and be able to feel what they feel, see through their eyes? How can you do that? You do it with Yeshua. You become one with him, and then you become one with someone else. But it isn't in your own power. It isn't trying to manipulate them. It isn't trying to change them. It's to bring about the Father's will in their life through complete love. And one of the things that I am really good at is loving people. The Lord has also said that I am the spirit of love. For a long time, I didn't want to tell anybody that because I thought it sounded very arrogant. But he's the one who told me that. And now I've started to see how true it is. It is a special gifting that I have, that I don't judge people at all. It's strange. Now, if I'm in my flesh, I surely can be judger. I can be like, oh, that guy has bad grammar. I don't want anything to do with him. Okay, I can be like that. But when I'm really focused in the spirit, you couldn't do anything wrong. If you are a murderer and I see all of what you've done, I have compassion over you for what has brought you to that moment. It's like I can't even, it doesn't compute to have some sort of judgy, hatey thing for me. It is, I am the spirit of love. And it's part of what the Father has put inside of me. It's himself. We each have a very unique part of who he is in us. And we have to understand who we are in order to really release who he is into the earth. And when we do that, everything starts functioning in the way that he wants it to. And we really do pray on earth as it is in heaven. We become those people that manifest heaven in the earth. And you guys may not even see all of this extreme love that I have, but when I have a one-on-one appointment with somebody and I have to dive into the horrible things in their life, it doesn't scare me. It never scares me. It never even shocks me. It never hurts me. It always is just the Lord transforming. It is so cool. It is my pleasure to go into the depths with people. I love being that person. I love being that part of the Father. And I'm so glad that he told me who I am. And he's told me a million times who I am. You know that. We've gone over the list you're supposed to have of your identity, right? I have so many experiences that he's shown me more and more of who I am. But I think more than just seeking your mountains, which is kind of what you're supposed to do. It's the blueprint of who you are and how it can be outworked. You need to figure out the who you are stuff first before how it can be outworked. That's my recommendation. My recommendation is to say, hey, can I see my destiny scroll? And even if he only shows you one tiny little word or phrase, to take it and say, I don't understand. Show me more, please. And write it down and let that just resonate and ruminate and all of that inside of you, because that will start to manifest. And then you'll start to see new things come into your life and transform. All the things he starts to tell you to do will line up with who you are. And so for me, when he first told me about I'm supposed to help people engage the heavenly realms, and I felt like I couldn't, he started slow and let me do it one by one, little by little. And then he said, okay, now start a mentoring group. And I said to him, no one wants to be mentored by me. No one cares what I have to say. Of course, I'm always arguing with the Father. It's not the smartest thing, you guys. Don't do that. Don't follow me in that way. But I do it all the time. And I'm like, I argued with him. And honestly, I didn't do it right away because I had no idea how. And I also didn't really believe anyone cared. The next week, I had like 7 people ask me to mentor them. And so all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I guess he wasn't wrong about this. And so I started a little mentoring group. And that's where all of the engaging heaven stuff started. And now I've been doing it for years with thousands of people who have come to learn to engage through my ministry. And it is crazy because I was a little nobody who I thought nobody would care anything about what I had to say. I never led anything. I did not consider myself a leader. I very much considered myself a follower. And now he started to show me, oh, you're actually a lion. You're supposed to be a ruler. You're supposed to be a leader. And I remember when he first told me about that, I was like, I don't lead people. And he made me I used to have a phone case that had a lion on the back of it that was like multicolored, probably like a pride thing for homosexuals. I don't know. But to me, it reminded me of who I am because he told me I'm a lion. And he also gave me a menorah with the 7 spirits and said I'm supposed to light people on fire with the 7 spirits. And they're all the colors of the rainbow. And so this multicolored lion like this was like, this is who I am. And he wanted me to get that so it would remind me all the time of who I am. Because I was used to the conditioning of you're not a leader, you're not a leader, you're not a leader. And I had to recondition myself to go, I'm a leader, I'm a leader, I'm a leader. And so now I know I'm a leader. I'm a great leader, actually. I know I'm a good leader. It's one of my great gifts that the Lord gave me. I'm good at it. I could lead anybody. I lead in everything I do now. I go to Mary Kay and all of a sudden I'm a leader. Like I'm a leader in everything I do. And I know that. And I know people want to follow me. And why? Only because the Lord did that in me. I have no special skills. It's just the Lord. I didn't have to go to leadership training. That wasn't it. He infused it inside of me. This is who I am. And so when he says these things about you, you start to follow what he says. You start to remember. You start to remind yourself. You have to keep reminders. Okay, you guys see, I don't know if you can see on the shelf back there behind me. There's a little set of keys. Can you see that? No. Okay. Well, anyway, there's this little set of keys. Okay, actually, it's a really big set of keys. These keys were reminding me that he told me that he has given me all of the keys of the kingdom and that I can let people into wherever they need to go. Okay, that's what he told me. So these keys remind me of that. There are different things that you need to have around you to remind you of who you are. Do you need to go sleep, River? I just feel bad for you. If you need to sleep, go ahead. Okay. We can just believe that the Lord will infuse things in your dreams. Okay. Anyway, I really recommend having things around you that remind you of who you are. Whether it's a word that you put on your wall or something like I said, the phone case you have, whatever is going to be around you all the time that can remind you of who you are. That's what you need. Okay. But I say, let's seek your scroll. Do you want to do that today?
I'd like to ask a couple of questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Can I mention a couple of things for clarification?
Sure.
So when I hear someone say, sure, find your scroll.
Yeah.
Because I'm a visual learner, I'm literally looking for something rolled up
Yes.
that will be given to me. However, that wasn't the second thing the Lord showed you when he told you that you were a lion. You said that he showed you.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also gave you a menorah.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go into the spirit realm with this preconceived notion as to a scroll, that's what I'm expecting to see. However, the Lord has shown me certain things where He's taken me into a classroom and He's told me I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't given anything.
Right.
So is that my destiny scroll?
I'm not sure if it's your destiny scroll or I would say it's not your destiny scroll, but it might be on your destiny scroll. Okay. So your destiny scroll is a literal scroll. Or sometimes people have books of destiny. Okay. So it's not always the same for everyone. I have figured out it has to do with when you were created in the spirit. So seek that on your own. But anyway, just because you experience it outside of your destiny scroll doesn't mean that it's not on your destiny scroll. But it may not be on your destiny scroll. It could just be a part of your identity, not what you're supposed to do. So your destiny scroll is what he wants you to fulfill in the earth for this time. Okay? And so it's your destiny. If you don't fulfill your destiny, he has others who he will also give the same scroll to later. Okay? So it's not like you're ruining all of creation or something.
So would it be one main thing or would it be a few or several?
It could be lots of things. It could be, well, a giant scroll worth. It doesn't mean that he will show you everything.
Okay.
And it may not be that he'll show you everything all at once. But it could be you being a teacher and what you're supposed to do in the earth is part of your destiny scroll. You just haven't read it from your destiny scroll. So for me, a lot of my identity, me being a leader, is part of who I am. And it contributes to my destiny. I have no idea if that is written on my destiny scroll, but it definitely gives me the power to fulfill my destiny. Right?
So when he said you're an intercessor,
Yeah.
this is when you said You must find out why you were sent here. And then you mentioned about we then need to find out what we're supposed to do. So it's like what you are first and then find out what you're to do.
Yeah.
So were you given a scroll to show that you're a leader?
No. Well, only about I've seen on these scrolls, and I don't know if it was the same scroll or different scroll, but about the Joshua generation thing, about the healer thing, the healing frequency bit. What else was it? Kingdom order, that those things were on a scroll for me. Okay. So I think that that was part of my destiny scroll. What I know for sure was part of my destiny scroll was the intercessor thing. And the intercessor thing, even though he showed me that one word, he then gave me the knowledge of what that meant I was supposed to do.
Okay.
So that was basically part of the scroll. It's just I didn't experience it the same way as everybody else. I don't always read everything. So it may not be that you read these things. He might give it to you a different way. I mean, he has given many people scrolls that they're supposed to eat. They don't get to read it, they're supposed to eat it. And when they eat it, it becomes part of who they are. And so it starts manifesting whether they understand it or not.
So what I'm taking now from your further explanation is that we should get a scroll or a book.
You definitely have a scroll or a book.
Okay.
You
So
should ask for it. It's up to the Lord if he gives it to you or not. So
okay, so here is the thing. And when you mentioned it could be loads or one massive scroll with loads of things in it. Quite some time ago, I remember asking the Lord after certain things happened with both of us, where he helped dealt with a particular issue in my life. And I asked, what do you think of me? And instantly I saw myself in a room and these bookcases just full of books simply just slid down the wall from one end of the room to the next. I'm going to take it now that that's probably my destiny scrolls because there were loads of books. So I suppose then I just need to go and pull out each book and say, okay, so what's in this book?
It's possible, but let me just say this. It may not be that that was your destiny. I don't know, because there are tons and tons of books in the heavenly realms, especially in the library. And so it could be that that was everything that you were supposed to learn or experience. And so still, those things could help you fulfill your destiny scroll, but it may not be. And I will say this, I already know that you have a destiny scroll and not a book of destiny personally. So for you, because I know you in the spirit and when you are from, if that makes sense, I understand that you have a scroll. So these books, this is why I'm kind of doubting that it's all just your destiny scroll. It could be, okay? I'm not trying to say I know everything, but I kind of think you have a scroll and not a book of destiny. So
I need to find out what that scroll is then.
or what those books are about, or all of it.
True.
I mean, that's exciting. You can go and dive into all of that.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have another question or was it all? No? Okay. Okay. Any other questions, you guys? River, somehow you woke up. I don't know how that happened. Just me calling you out of it? I don't know. When we start engaging, we'll see. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't assume you're like me. When I am really tired and I start engaging, I always fall asleep. Karen, you have any questions? Oh, she's frozen. Oh, there she is. Well, maybe not. Okay, I think not. River, do you have any questions? Okay. Well, how about let's engage together and see. I know you're driving, Karen, so it may be hard for you. Um, but let's all try to engage and ask the Lord about our destinies. Okay. Do I have a book of destiny? Do I have a destiny scroll? Can you show it to me? Do you have anything else to show me? Okay. He may take you another direction, and that's perfectly fine. But let's just seek. Okay. Especially we're coming up on a new year according to the Gregorian calendar. And so it'd be a good time to make sure we're walking in our destiny, right? Okay. All right. Let's focus together. Right? Do you guys want to focus back here? River, you're not asleep. What? Okay, since you're not asleep currently, would you like to start?
Sure. So I don't feel like I had a huge revelation, but I started off with, okay, Father, do I have a destiny scroll? And it was kind of like, you do. It was like- and then it was like, okay, well, what is it? So first it seemed like it was kind of big on a table. He said, I can make it big. I can make it little. You can eat this or not, or you can put it on your wall and it can be huge. You have a destiny scroll. Okay. Now, a while ago, the Father had told me that I was a repairer of the breach. And he said, look at how the life situations that you have been in have grown your skill set to operate in a way that would be happening. I mean, just from like, I'm very comfortable with public speaking. I'm very good at administrative work. All of that. I'm a good communicator. I'm very careful with my words in many ways, and so I. He just took me through different things that happened that were like, see, this was so that you would know this, so you would be comfortable in this situation, so you'd be comfortable here. Now, what does it all mean and how does it all manifest? I didn't get that so much. I mean, the fact that working with the organization, the nonprofit organization I do, and all of that, working with the assembly, that's part of it. And it's interesting because all of those things are not things that I did. They're things that just I was like, I'm doing this. Like I just kind of stepped into it without like going through my head and coming up with reasons why I shouldn't do it. Um, and those are the places where he's taught me, and where he pulled me. So
That's awesome.
that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
That's good. All right. Hey, would you nominate one of the other ladies?
Yeah. Well, I'll say Pearl since Karen looks like she's in transition.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go with the flow. After quite some time trying to get anything, I saw what looked like a scroll. You know, when you're at school and they ask you to make sepia paper, where they get the tea bag and you dip it in water, and then you put the tea bag over the paper so that it looks really old.
Mm.
And all I saw on it was knowledge written in big capital, not capital letters, just knowledge, like written using an italic pen.
Mhm.
Don't know if you know what an italic pen is.
Mhm.
That's it. So I kept focusing on that. And there were different explanations around knowledge. So to be like to spread knowledge. I got like knowledge plus wisdom was coming to me, release knowledge. I saw like the letters themselves, like be like moved, for want of a better word. So it's like they became alive, all the letters. And I had this sense of being in the quantum realm. And the knowledge was like a massive, hmm, I want to say like this realm, and I'm calling it a realm, like is, oh, hold on.
I wonder if it's how I experience it, as like almost like an atmosphere. Is that
Yeah.
how?
Yes. Yes. With little kind of like dots,
Yes.
stars, things in it. So it's like an atmosphere, but with like little tiny,
I know, dots that connect with one another.
yes,
And
yeah,
yes,
tiny dots in it.
we call that, okay, let me tell you, this is a secret word that I learned from Leibniz, an old philosopher. Monads. Okay.
Monads.
Monads. Monads. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, so the knowledge was like spread over the sky above the earth, as it were. I don't know.
Oh, I get it, because that's exactly how he shows me, like the quantum realm is what I call it, but it's exactly like that.
Okay.
That's
And
cool.
I'm not sure whether I saw that because I have been looking up quantum realm this week as part of my learning and research. And whilst I was doing it, I saw 10:10 on the clock because that's another way the Lord speaks to me. And 10 represents Yud, and Yud is the spark, the dot. So it's like him confirming to me that within the quantum realm, everything starts with that dot, that spark.
That's cool.
I don't know.
That's awesome. Can I tell you something really cool?
Go for it.
And I hope you share a little bit of this next week.
What's that?
One of the ladies who is joining us starting next week, I just met with her right before class. And she was shown that she has a knowledge mountain. And I had never heard of that before. She said I even saw it, but I don't remember it. But anyway, she has a knowledge mountain, and we kind of explored some of that, and it led into her scroll and who she is and all this stuff. And I thought, wow, that is so unique. And then I come on here and you have the same thing. And it's not exactly the same, of course, but it's like, wow, you guys are supposed to be connected, I am sure. And so I'm just letting you know that you need to say something about it when you introduce yourself next week, because she will feel like, probably, maybe not as much as me, but I've never heard of that before. And then two of you right like at the same time. So amazing. So that's very cool.
That's cool.
That is cool. Karen, you there? You're muted. You're muted, baby. There you
I'm
are.
sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So while I was engaging, I was still driving, but at the same time I actually saw the scroll. While I was driving, I actually could see the scroll. I don't There was a name on it, and I knew it was my name, but I don't know what the name was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I knew it was me. And I heard, and I tried to write it down while I was driving. Uh, I heard a few things that let me make sure. I want to make sure that I do right. Let's see. Um, I got leads others into the government of God. I don't really understand all of that, but it says leads others into the government of God. I heard restorer. And then what you said, restorer of the breach, repairer of the breach. Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
I heard that. I was like, what? She said the same thing I heard. And so that's what I heard. But then I experienced there was something else going on. Like there was an angel there, there was there was other things going. I could actually feel my heart, um, like I don't know if it was hurting or it was um and then it's like the angels were like, wait a minute. They were talking about me and my scroll and my destiny. And they were like, well, wait a minute. She had her, I don't know what they, it was like, almost like they was like trying to hurry up and like they was gonna have to do something for me, for my destiny. Um, like something had happened with my destiny and the destiny of my children. Um, that's yeah, and so that's what happened. And I was like, well, I wish I could have, while you were here, I wish I could have just parked somewhere and just really got more, but that's what I saw.
Cool. Well, you can always go back to it. Don't forget. Just ask
But it's
Yeshua
not
to
the
take you
same when
back.
you're by yourself. It's not the same. Yeah.
Well, you can do it. And yeah, don't worry about that. He'll release what you need to know. Yes. So when I was engaging, I saw all of us in a classroom and I started handing out scrolls. And I was like, why am I handing out scrolls, Lord? And then he reminded me of who I am, of course, and is like, remember, you're supposed to release scrolls and you're supposed to release blueprints. And I was just like, oh, yeah, I had this experience. I don't know if I told you this before, but um, I was around a couple people who received blueprints and all of this, and I was constantly seeking, like, I want a blueprint. God, can I have a blueprint? Blah, blah, all the time. And I never got anywhere. And then one day, this guy was leading us in an engaging time and he led us into the scroll room, which I'd never been in before. And in the scroll room, you're supposed to, that's where you can get blueprints and scrolls of any kind, basically. And so I was like, oh, this is my opportunity to get a blueprint. And so I went up to this angel who was there, like kind of managing the place, I guess. And I was like, hey, can I have a blueprint? And he told me no. And I was like, so upset. I quit engaging immediately. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? Did I do something wrong that I can't get a blueprint? And I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough to receive a blueprint. I just had all these things going through my mind of how horrible I was and why I couldn't do that. And I was so frustrated that I did what I told Karen to do. And I said, Yeshua, will you bring me back to that scroll room, please? And so I went back to the angel and I said, why can't I receive a blueprint? And he told me, you're not supposed to receive blueprints. You're supposed to release blueprints. And I was like, oh. And then he reminded me of how I was a part of this certain court and how one of the things we do in that court is release all of these scrolls and blueprints and stuff. And I was like, oh. And I started to remember and realize who I am and that not everyone is supposed to receive everything and, that sort of thing. And so I thought that was kind of cool. But the Lord reminded me of that when I was giving out these scrolls and I was like, why am I giving out these scrolls? And then he's like, remember, you're supposed to be releasing scrolls and blueprints and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah. And I'd really forgotten about it. It'd been kind of years since I've done that. That's sad. But it'd been a long time since I have done that. So, anyway, that was my experience. It wasn't very long, but it was important. for me anyway. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Well, Karen, you can always ask people to engage with you throughout the week, remember? That's kind of the point. Oh, she left. She's like, sayonara. I'm kidding.
Probably not.
I know. Well, it's amazing what the Lord shows us or even reminds us of whenever we are engaging. When you said, River, that you were reminded that you were a repairer of the breach, I was like, oh, good. I'm not the only one who needed a reminder. And,
Well, and it's interesting when you said the thing about it's like he doesn't show everybody everything all the time. And he's told me that before about me. There, Karen's back, yay. Um, and and I mean, and he was kind of saying that to me as I was asking about and not feeling like I was getting anything. And because it's like the whole frequency that I am so, I talk about that with people all the time when it comes up. And yet I don't feel like I have been given a scroll or a mandate by the Lord, but the information has come to me, so I'm spreading it on. And I know it's part of the breach because people don't understand the interwovenness between the physical and the spiritual, that actually we are living the spiritual walk as we're here. People don't understand that. And so anyway, just we don't all get everything. And yet, and so what he told me is like, but River, you're with me. And that's the most important thing, is your relationship with me, which I spend a lot of time in that. So yeah.
that is the most important thing.
Trust that, and in spite of the fact that I don't get all these awesome heavenly like moments of this court, that court, any of that stuff. It's okay.
You always say that. You have so many heavenly experiences. I think you have been caught in the comparison trap. Do you
Could
know
be.
that?
Could be. Yeah, absolutely could be. Because it's just different kinds of things. Like certain information about the heavens that you talk about, and I'm like, I never hear I mean, I have experiences with the Father and with people with healing and that kind of stuff. And like the oneness thing, when I hug somebody, suddenly their face is on my face. It happened with my dog while we're sitting here. I'm petting the dog and I feel like I turned into the dog. It's like,
I love it.
but the stuff like the court of this court of that court, some of those things are like, I think they're just maybe things that I'm in alignment with, but I don't but I haven't got that information directly from the Lord. So, and that's okay, because I'm doing what he wants to do, and I believe that.
Well, the truth is we all have really different mandates in how we're supposed to function. And so for me, I have done a lot of stuff in the courts because of who I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to establish kingdom order, and part of that has to do with the courts of heaven. And so not everyone is supposed to do that. Not everyone is supposed to sit on the court of judges like me. There are literally 3 of us, and out of how many people in the world? You know what I mean? It's something that not everyone is supposed to do everything.
Yeah.
And even if you think, I know that myself, I'm thinking of this time when I was asking, I don't know what I was doing, but the Lord gave me this job. I may have told you this before. Please forgive me if I have, but he gave me this job where I was outside of the Father's house, okay, at this fountain. And I was supposed to take these different kinds of clothes out of the fountain and put them on people so that they would go into the Father's house. And that was my job. And I'll tell you what, when he showed me that that's what I was supposed to do, I was like, really? To me, that felt like the greeter at church. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can do that, but isn't this kind of the easiest job in the whole world? Like, why am I just doing that? That's how I felt. Okay. And then later on, he showed me that it was part of the high priest's duty to make sure people had the correct garments for where they were supposed to go and what they were supposed to do. And it was actually a huge honor that he was putting me in that place. And instead, I thought it was grunt work. And I think, to me, I think we all have kind of the tendency to think that about ourselves. Like, well, what good is this little thing that I'm doing? You know, when he's saying, actually, I'm really honoring you by putting you in this position, by making you do this. And I don't have all of these experiences all the time. A lot of times, like, I'm drawing off of experiences that I had 10 years ago. You know what I mean? These are things that he reminds me. I have a lot of different experiences because I've been doing it for a while. And 10 years isn't even that much. Like, think about it. 10 years in the grand, no. I mean, it's barely anything. But I've had a lot of experiences in that time. A lot of also experiences that I've forgotten. Like that I just talked about. I haven't thought about that in a long time. Sometimes I do that still, but it's not all the time. It's certainly not all the time. And so there are things that he has to remind me of. Remember, I made you like this, just like he did with me just now with the releasing of the scrolls thing. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that that's who I am. And so there are probably a lot of things you have experienced that you think, well, how come I'm not having these grandiose experiences like everybody else? And it's really, he's like, hello, this is pretty special, actually, you know?
Mm.
And he has to remind us of who we are and these different things. I know the way that you easily have oneness with people is rare. It is so hard for me to teach people to be like that. And it's a really special gift that you have. It's very.
I still don't know how to be one with people.
She's just excited to have people show up in engaging times now. Right? But it's interesting. It is, we're so different. All of us are so different and so uniquely made. Just because some people are great at this and some people are great at this. I mean, I have spent a long time being jealous of other people's gifts, and I'm over it. I'm telling you, I'm not going to be like that anymore. I have no more jealousy of other people's gifts. I am fully accepting. I am who I am. I'm very different than everyone else, and that's fine. I don't need to be Pearl, who is a perfect decorator. If you walked in my house, you'd be like, you know, I don't need to be like that. Okay. I can have crap all over my dining room table and not worry about the color scheme. Like, it's okay.
I'll have to start tidying up if I were to walk in. I'll be looking at it and then later on be like, okay,
this is
so
why you're never invited to my house. Okay.
I want you
Let's
to come to my
organize
house,
this.
girl.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
I have a dog gate in front, or baby gate technically, but we use it as a dog gate, a baby gate in front of my bookcase just to block the dogs from taking stuff off of the shelf. Like, that is how much I don't care about what things look like. So anyway, I'm just saying, I have been jealous of people with perfect houses and super tidy and wonderful when I'm like, yeah, I've had a broken vacuum for 3 months. By the way, I just got blessed with enough to get a new vacuum.
Yay!
I know. I'm so excited. But anyway, you never know. Some people go through things like this, and the Lord has shown me that even about these things, that's not what he cares about. I have a friend who just was talking about, she asked me to meet up with her to engage. And I said, sure. Well, this was in text. And she was like, so did you say sure, like this is a big obligation and you better do it? And I'm like, do you know how much I love you? Have you forgotten? Like, and she said, I'm sorry, I just feel like a burden all the time to people. And I couldn't tell if you really wanted to or not. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I can't always help you with physical things like moving, cleaning, doing all these things everybody wants help with. But I can engage with you. Okay. I at least have that gift I can offer. And I've learned I have to stay in my lane because I have certain gifts that are really valuable. But if I start trying to be like everybody else, I'm going to suck at it because it's not me. So I just got to stay with what the Lord has gifted me in. How has he gifted me? And so even one time, okay, do you guys know I love being on podcasts? Do you know this? Okay. I love podcasting. So fun for me. And this one guy who I really like, he's a real estate agent. He's really, he loves the Lord. And he said, hey, I want to do this podcast with you and Kim and Jason, and we'll all do it. And it'll be about restoring people who've fallen away from the church to be able to come back to the Lord. And I'm like, that sounds amazing. And I was so excited immediately. And then I said, oh man, I forgot. I haven't even asked the Lord about it. And I asked the Lord about it, and he said, Chris, stay in your lane. And I was like, oh, he had just called me to start mentoring leaders in the church to be able to function from heaven into the earth. And it wasn't about evangelism. I'm not supposed to be ministering to those who are broken from the church, coming back to the church. That's not me. Now, is it a good, worthy thing to do? 100%. But I have to stay in my lane. I have to do what I'm supposed to do. And so I have learned I have to stay focused on who I am and my destiny. Because my destiny is not Pearl's destiny and it's not River's destiny. It's my own. And I need to fulfill it. And I need to ask, who are you saints? Hey, Cloud of Witness people. I need you to show yourself to me. Who's supposed to fulfill this destiny with me? Because this is, they're around to help us fulfill the destiny that they weren't able to complete. And so ask, like, are there any around who are supposed to help me? I'm bad about asking that, but we should be asking these things. Who's here? Who's part of my heavenly team? Because our heavenly team, usually they're angels and other beings and people from the cloud of witnesses and tons of team that we have around to help us fulfill our destiny. We need to ask, who's on my team? So let's remember to do that. Remember that they're in class with us. And we're all learning to do this together. Yeah.
I had a funny experience. I don't remember what the details of it were, but this idea came up, or this thought came up regarding whatever I was doing, and I said, and it referred back to something else, and I said, oh, I said something to the Lord about it, and he goes, River. I said something about like as if it was this new thing, and he goes, River, we've been giving you thoughts for a long time. He said, you submitted yourself to us a long time ago. He said, a lot of the thoughts that you have are not from you. And it just totally cracked me up.
I think that's so good. The Lord keeps showing me this a lot too, because I'll say, well, that was from me, not necessarily the Lord. And then he'll be like, hello, you know, I gave that to you, right? And it's like I keep thinking, no, I didn't get that direct word, so it must only be me. And yeah, you're good at recognizing that. I struggle still with recognizing what's me and what's the Lord, or remembering I have the mind of Christ.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what he said. And so I think this is probably true for everybody on this call. It's like we've been submitting ourselves in so many ways that we have said, Lord, I want my every breath, every step about your glory. Well, he doesn't like not listen to that. He goes, okay, I'll take that territory, and then steps in. And so, it's like, do we have thoughts of our own? Yeah, sometimes, but not necessarily most of the time. I mean, we have to determine that for ourselves, but yeah, anyway.
That's good. Do you know what's funny? Just as you were saying that, I had this feeling slash prayer, whatever you call it, where I said, yeah, Lord, I want you to control my finances. And he was like, finally. And and I realized I don't know how that wasn't a place I submitted. I always am trying, but I didn't actually really do it until just now. So that's kind of cool. I feel like that's a new place he wants to take over. And now I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Anyway, random. Thank you for your word, River. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Lord's word.
The Lord through River. Pearl, I feel like you had something you wanted to ask or comment. Oh, now Karen does.
Oh, I was just gonna ask you before my phone cut off. I heard you say my name, and I kept trying to get back.
I forgot what it was about.
Oh no. Okay.
I don't know. Do you guys remember? I don't.
Okay.
Did you hear me say that you can engage with other people in the class?
No.
Okay.
No,
Maybe that's
okay.
what it was.
Okay.
You know how you were talking about
That's it.
how, oh, I can't do that as easily without everybody else, right?
Yeah.
And so I was saying, well, you remember we're all supposed to be engaging with each other, right? And so it's a reminder to reach out and engage with other people this week, especially concerning your Destiny Scrolls. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go. Easy. Okay. Now,
Thank
Pearl.
you.
You're welcome. Oh, wait. River now is trying to interject too. Pearl,
Oh.
you're going to have some patience in this class today.
Who's that, Pearl or me?
You, River, you go.
Okay. Well, it just had to do with, okay, so when you said the thing about monads, and so that's a frequency, that's totally about the way the world is, right? And then when you said the thing about we're all different, all of our destinies are different, and we hear that, it's even in the Bible, it's like everybody's this different part of the body, right? But I realized it's part of that whole monad structure. It's like all of it's like we're putting together all kinds, we are linking so many different things at this time of great healing. And no, that's all.
Good. Well, okay, let me share a little bit about the monad thing real quick if you don't care. I think it will be helpful for you, Pearl, maybe. So back a long time ago when I was at university, I was forced to be a philosophy major because we had one major that was philosophy and religious studies. Okay. So you couldn't just do religious studies, you had to do philosophy too. I didn't care anything about philosophy until now. So after I've done it, then I wished I would have emphasized the philosophy part instead of religious studies. But at the time, I was in history of philosophy. And so we were studying just lots of different philosophers. Each week was a different philosopher we were studying. And so this time we were studying Leibniz, who is this really little known philosopher. Okay. Hardly anybody even knows who he is. And he wasn't even a Christian. But as we were studying, he started talking about monads. And monads were like the smallest form, like now you would probably say quark. A quark is the smallest, I'm going to say particle. I don't know what the right word is, but you know what I'm saying? Part of a cell or something. I don't know. Anyway, but the monads held all of the secrets of the universe in each one. And every monad connected to everything. And the trees would manifest, even though it's all monads, it would manifest as a tree. And then the sky would manifest as the sky. And I would manifest as me. But we're all connected. We're all the same. We all contain all of the secrets of the universe. And as he was saying that, the Lord said, "That's right." And I was like, oh. And so I spent some time with the Lord trying to kind of meditate on that. And I laid down at the football field when nobody was there. And I was looking up at the sky and I saw my hair, and I saw in this one strand of hair all of the different colors of the rainbow in my hair. And the Lord was showing me how these were all hair monads, basically, and how it was all of that was in every part of me and everything else. And then all of a sudden I had this crazy experience where he flooded my mind with all of the secrets of the universe. And it was overwhelming and the coolest experience, but I couldn't like hold on to it. Like as soon as it came in, it's like it's like my mind was too, how do I say, limited to be able to hold on to it at the time. And I know that that's not true, but at the time, that's what it was. Okay, that's how it felt, because I was like, I want to remember this, but I couldn't remember. Like it was like everything was so much, but it was just the very best experience of my whole life. And later on, he showed me that what I experienced was Metatron's cube. And if you know anything about Metatron's cube in the heavenly realms, it's where, so Metatron is an angel who records everything. He's like the scribe for the Father. But it's all recorded, not in books. It's like this giant structure that also has like these, they're almost like movie screens or television screens, but huge. And everything is recorded of what has been and will be. And so you can go and experience Metatron's cube, ask him if he'll take you, and he'll show you certain things if you want of these, whatever has happened or will be. And I realized, like, what the Lord showed me is that each one of these monads is a manifestation of Metatron's cube. Which, so it's all that the Father has done or will do. So it's all possibilities. It's everything. And when I say I'm supposed to do this and not that, it's true, but it's because I'm manifesting as Christine or whoever I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm manifesting as this right now. I am still all of him. It's just I am manifesting as this part, just like the tree is manifesting as that part. But I can access the tree at any time because we're all one. You know what I mean? So even though I have a destiny to fulfill as Christine, that is true, but that isn't all of who I am. It's just the part that I'm supposed to fulfill on the earth at this point. And so I don't know if this makes any sense, but I felt like I was supposed to share all that. It's wild. I never understood it was Metatron's cube until I saw Metatron's cube at a Mike Parsons conference, and he put it up on a screen, and the Lord was just like, that's what you experienced. And I was like, what? I mean, it was wild because he was explaining stuff that had nothing to do with it. And I also had heard of Metatron's cube in like the New Agey stuff and how it's like sacred geometry, everybody calls it. And so they use this sacred geometry to try to make things a certain way or have certain revelation. But it's like such a tiny part of it. And it's not the fullness of the Lord at all. So I would encourage you, if you feel led, to explore Metatron's cube with the Lord, not on the internet, but with the Lord, and say, hey, I want to know what you have to say about this. And if this is part of my destiny, what does this mean? And how does this manifest in my life? You know, do that sort of thing. Like I said, if you try to look it up on the internet, you're probably going to find a lot of new agey stuff that isn't necessarily the whole truth. It's all writing things down. All right, Pearl.
This week I have felt pretty low in terms of my emotions. There are times when I feel quite overwhelmed and I'm not engaging or praying or doing much. I feel somewhat numb. And naturally, it is the net result of the process I'm going through at the moment with what's happening at home and my future and such like. So sometime this week, when you remember me, can you please engage over me?
Of course. Can I tell you that this is your sweet spot in this class? I'm saying that because I can see you coming back into who you are. You know how before I said it's because you're in your shadow? You know what I mean by that? Okay. I'm a little bit nerdy when it comes to psychology. I don't know if you knew this about me, but
I know you're nerdy, geeky.
that's for sure. I have a lot of nerdiness. I don't always share all the nerdiness, but I'm especially a nerd about Myers-Briggs. I love Myers-Briggs, which is personality profiling. And I've probably shared a lot of that with you. I think you are an INTJ, I would guess. But anyway, when you are in a funk, no matter what your funk is, maybe you're hungry, you're tired, you're depressed, you're mad, whatever, you're in a funk for some reason. You start operating in your shadow, which is the complete opposite of your true personality. So, where normally you take notes and you're very organized and jade out, okay? So that's part of your Janus, is what I call it. That's who you are and how you feel. Remember, we talked about the structure. You feel good, more comfortable if there's structure. Like that's part of who you are. And you said, well, I'm not really very much like that right now. I'm like, yeah, because you're in your shadow. Because when you're in your shadow, you're going to be like, screw it, I don't care. More spontaneous, like all of those things are going to be how you are. Probably messier, all of that sort of thing. You're also probably, since you're not really a feeler very much, I think, maybe I'm wrong, but you seem like a thinker more than a feeler. And so you probably are more a feeler now, like in your emotions more, and making decisions based on emotions and how people will feel and not what's the best decision and things like that, right? You're also going to be very sensory driven right now. So like, how can I feel good by touching something or smelling something or whatever it might be for you, eating something. That's
Eating.
That's a sensory thing. You're not usually driven by sensory things. You're an intuitive naturally. And so there are just things like this. You're going to be acting in your shadow more when you are in a funk. When you tap into the spirit, and that's what you're doing in this class, you're feeling more of who you are, and you're getting, at least temporarily, out of the funk. You start operating more in who you truly are. So now you're like, I need to take notes on that. I need blah, blah. When probably you're like, oh, screw that, in this time of your life. And so you need to find the places that you thrive as yourself and really focus more on that. So probably press in more spiritually, even if you feel like you don't want to, you're too lazy or whatever. You need the structure. And so doing stuff like this, coming to class when you probably don't want to, is, I don't know that, but I'm just guessing that if I were in your space, I would probably feel like that. Coming to class when you don't want to, engaging with somebody when they ask, even though you don't feel like it, stuff like that is going to be really good for you. Because it'll pull you back into who you truly are and get you out of that funk, because you don't want to stay in that place. And of course, we will engage over you. If you feel like you're in the funk, I really recommend just saying something on the class thing, or reaching out even just to me or something, but just saying, hey, I'm really feeling it right now. I need you guys to engage over me. And it will help, because that's what community is for when you're in a time like this. And you probably won't feel like reaching out, but you should. Maybe you will. Maybe you'll be an extrovert. And so I'm guessing you're normally an introvert. Am I right?
My truest state is that of an introvert,
Right.
but I have had to learn to be an extrovert. I just feel it's just this perfect serenity when I'm not talking, when I have time by myself, when, that kind of thing. I'm in my perfect place.
Yes.
But I also enjoy talking to people and being to people. It's like this natural feeding, nourishing I have for myself when I'm by myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you say you've had to learn to be an extrovert. I don't believe that actually happens. You can pretend to be an extrovert. You can do what people think an extrovert does, like public speaking, having a great, lively personality, whatever. That is not actually what an extrovert is. An extrovert gains energy by being around people, and an introvert gains energy by not being around people. So you can exert a lot of energy by being around people and being that extrovert, but you're not an actual extrovert when you're doing that. You're just exerting energy, which is fine. It's okay to do that. You're still an introvert because you just go back to recharge. It's fine. And it doesn't mean you don't like people either. I mean, I'm an introvert. No one believes me because they think it just means you're shy, but that's not what it means. It doesn't mean anything about that. It's how you gain energy. And so
Yes.
for me, I love doing this. I love being on this class. And then I love resting and
Yes.
going and being by myself, or at least with just a couple people I can totally be myself with.
Yes.
But not a big group. If I'm in a
Yeah.
big group of people, you will find me hiding in the bathroom just sometimes to just recharge. Like I do that. I'm sure River probably saw me do this at the conference. This is how I am. I have to just every once in a while, it's too much. I got to get away to the bathroom and just have a little time in my stall alone. And
I call those when I'm with people, after a while, I feel my energy just being drained away. And people who just go on and talk and talk, and it's like, it's like my definition is like, oh my gosh, that was like an emotional vampire. And I just like, I don't know. Yes, after a while, I just want to leave. There are times when I can physically get a headache when I'm around people who's like that all the time, just like go on and on and on and on all the time.
yes.
But when I come away, it's like, oh,
Well, it's probably because those people are extreme extroverts and they are taking energy from you. Like
yeah,
that's how they gain energy is from other people. And so you are, without meaning to, being drained by them
yeah.
taking energy from you. If you're with another introvert, it's not going to drain your energy.
No,
I mean,
I
you'll just
realize
feel
that.
relaxed all the time, you know, because you both recharge and get energy from being alone, not by
Yeah,
other people. And
yeah.
so, yeah. Anyway, we have gone way over. I love you guys. Thank you for everything. I have another appointment coming up, so I gotta go. But I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you,
Love you.
everyone.
Yes. All right. Bye bye, guys.
Bye.
Love ya.